Heart health, it's an important topic no matter your age, and in addition to exercise, your diet is incredibly significant.
We have registered dietitian Jennifer Belanger here to join us with some heart-healthy recipes. Perfect because A, it's American Heart Month, B, Valentine's Day. So you can have a healthy, heart-healthy recipe for Valentine's
It's
Day.
a win-win.
Of course, it's a win-win. So February is American Heart Month, but we really can't talk about heart health without talking about all sorts of other aspects of your health. I sort of think about nutrition and heart health kind of like a spider web. You know, you have your heart in the middle. The heart is what keeps you alive and, you know, pumps everything going. But we can't talk about the heart without talking about its relation to your brain and relation to your blood sugars and relation to inflammation. Everything is interconnected. So while we're talking about heart health today, and I'm going to show you some delicious recipes, you know, they're also beneficial for decreasing inflammation, blood sugar control, brain health, all that sorts of good stuff.
I like thinking of it that way.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, everything is connected.
I don't like spiders, but I like that I
No,
Yeah, how
no,
dare
yeah.
you? We just talked about cockroaches, started talking about spiders.
I would rather a spider over a cockroach.
Ooh, that's
be
a good
honest.
debate. We should
Yeah.
have that debate.
I don't think about
Yeah,
that one.
question of the day.
So we've got some great recipes that we can use them for Valentine's Day because let's be honest, if we're cooking for the person we love, we want to make sure it's a healthy meal, right?
Of course, let's keep them alive.
But also just in general, making choices that are better for our whole body.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. So the first recipe I have up here is, this is a salmon pasta, Mediterranean salmon pasta. So if you've ever heard of the Mediterranean diet, this is a really good base of what you want your eating plan to look like. And something that's really important that I like to stress as a dietitian is that it's not just about one ingredient or one food that you will eat that will, you know, make you healthy or change your life.
Everyone's always looking for like the one thing, like
The
it's
one
kale.
thing.
I just need kale. and I'm good.
Exactly, exactly. And there actually is kale in these recipes, ironically. But, you know, it's not just one thing. We need to be looking at the whole diet picture. So this is a recipe that encompasses so many of those things. So all I did was and part of the reason, too, that people have trouble eating healthy is because they just don't know how to cook. Cooking is really simple if you just know kind of some of the basics.
Or they don't know how to clean or don't want to clean.
Yes, that's true.
Are you looking at me?
No, I'm talking about myself.
All
I don't
men.
like dishes, so
I don't like
to
dishes.
cook.
Yeah. So if you're a professional dishwasher, please write in because we both want you.
I get it now.
So all I did was I cooked some salmon in the oven. So I literally just put some olive oil in a glass baking pan, put the salmon on top, salt and pepper, bake it in the oven. That's it for the salmon. Really easy.
And if someone at home is like, ooh, Mediterranean diet, maybe that's the thing I should try. What goes into the Mediterranean diet specifically?
Okay, so lots of fruits and vegetables for everyone. Fruits and vegetables, olive oil, cooking in unsaturated fats, whole grains. So here I have whole wheat pasta in this dish, fatty fish, salmon, trout, albacore tuna, that kind of stuff is good. What else? Nuts and seeds. So I've actually topped this salmon dish with toasted pine nuts, which adds a nice texture and a really nice crunch. The vegetables in here are tomatoes, artichokes, garlic, and there's lemon in there for flavor.
Looks great. And if you don't like salmon, you could just put some grilled chicken in there.
Yeah,
Just swap it out.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Let's talk about the black-eyed pea salad or side dish that you have right here.
Yep. So this is super easy, and this was inspired by my clients who really want one-pot meals. So I did this in the crock pot. All I did was, so I started with raw black-eyed peas, which you need to soak for a while before you cook them. So it's just black-eyed peas. I chopped up some carrots, celery, and onion, kind of staples in any dish that you make. Added some spices. I did thyme, a little bit of chili powder, salt and pepper, and then I just cooked it on high in the crock pot for 4 hours or so, and then topped with kale at the end. The kale doesn't need long to cook. You really just kind of need to wilt it down. And I sprinkled some feta cheese on top for kind of a nice little salty bite at the end.
That's
It
Mediterranean.
looks yummy.
Yeah, and this is something I would serve over here. I have next to it is farro. So farro is a whole grain. So we all hear whole grains are best. Whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta, brown rice. This is kind of an alternative to brown rice. And you cook it the same way as you would cook rice, but when it cooks, it gets it puffs up and it stands up really well to a bean or a legume. And it has kind of an earthy, kind of crunchy texture. And it's really delicious as a base for a lot of these dishes that you would make.
So you would cook that separately from everything in the crock pot?
Yeah, I would cook that separately. And actually what I would do is make a big batch of it and just have it in the fridge all week, because you can use it as a base for so many other recipes, or just flavor it with, some shallot, balsamic vinegar, things like that, and just eat it on its own as a side dish. So
Nice
doing
idea.
the meal prep ahead of time really helps you stay on track and stay healthy.
Great tips.
Yeah.
And that
So-
makes me also want to listen to some Black Eyed Peas too.
Right?
Ooh,
I know.
Give me some Fergie up in
Need
here.
some background
watch
music.
Some Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, good
Sorry,
one.
yeah.
Thanks, Jen. We'll be back with you later on in the show. We've got a couple more recipes to show, which I'm looking forward to hearing about.
All right.
Thanks for being here.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here again with registered dietitian Jennifer Belanger with more heart-healthy recipes for February, which is American Heart Month.
Yes, sir. So the next one I want to point out are these roasted chickpeas. These are my latest obsession, and I eat them probably every day. I'm always draining a can of chickpeas. My husband's like, here we go again.
So it's a can. It's not dried.
No, yeah, so these are from a can. So all I do is dump out the chickpeas into a strainer, rinse them to get some of the salt off and get all that goopy liquid out. Put them in a bowl with a drizzle of olive oil. I like a little spice, so I do a little bit of salt and cayenne pepper, so it gives it a little bit of heat. I roast them in the oven at 450 degrees for about a half an hour. Every 10 minutes or so, I kind of take them out and shake them so that they roast evenly. But they are just a crunchy, delicious, really healthy snack. So we know Danny loves chickpeas, right? You know,
Chickpea chickpeas?
Chickpea chickpeas, yeah.
Favorite pun.
So they are a legume. So legumes are in the heart health, kind of family that we talk about with the Mediterranean diet and getting more fiber in your diet. They're a good source of protein. So anytime, I think beans and chickpeas and lentils are some of the most underutilized foods in our, that we have available to us. Everyone wants, carbs and, meat and things like that. But beans are such a good source of protein, fiber, all sorts of good stuff. And
they're inexpensive
delicious.
too.
They're
not
so
really-
inexpensive. So thank you. I was going to talk about that. So you can buy roasted chickpeas in a bag. All sorts of brands make them. You can buy them in a bag, but they can cost anywhere from $3 to $5 a bag. And you get, a little serving, and then you probably eat the whole bag, and then you're probably eating too much of them, and, portion control becomes an issue.
Right.
So when you make them yourself, you can get a can of chickpeas for 89 cents at the grocery store. And just make them yourself. They take, half an hour in the oven. You do it while you're doing other meal prep things, like making the sauce and bean dish or something like that, right? And you take them out, and you have a really healthy, nutritious snack.
It's a good I'm bored snack. Because sometimes I'm eating because I'm bored, not because I'm actually
Right,
hungry.
you're watching TV and you're craving
Yeah.
something and
Exactly.
you want to munch.
Yeah,
It's a good
yeah.
choice.
It's a good-
It
it's
totally
crunchy.
is.
And
It
if they're
totally
too
is.
spicy, then you won't overeat. So you put a little too much
Exactly.
cayenne, and you're like, 2 of them and I'm good.
Exactly.
Let's talk about
See?
those blondies.
Yes, so these are one of my favorite things I made for the show. So these are a white bean and beet blondie. So I was inspired to make this recipe by black bean brownies, if you've ever heard of black bean brownies. So funny story, I was actually going to make the roasted chickpeas, and I accidentally opened up a can of white beans because I just wasn't looking, and they look similar on the label. So then I had these white beans open in my fridge, and I was like, well, I don't want to waste them. And I had just made black bean brownies for something else. So I was like, maybe I could put the white beans in the blondies. And then it's
smart.
the week of Valentine's Day, and I'm like, well, I really want to make them pink. So I know that you can use beets as a natural color. So I just took, again, a can of beets, pureed them up with a little bit of applesauce for some more liquid in my food processor, and then substituted all the butter for the beet puree. So there's no butter in these. And when you flip them over, they're really pink on the other side. And I put some white chocolate chips in just for a little interest. And
they taste like raspberry.
Yes, I put raspberry extract because I figured if I'm going to make them pink, I should make them taste like something that is naturally pink. So I put some raspberry extract in there. But you could go as crazy as you want. You could put fresh raspberry puree in there or strawberry puree and make them taste like whatever you want. Or you can just leave them without the extract and just have a pink blondie. And they're fun for Valentine's Day.
A heart-healthy treat that's pink, shaped like a heart for Valentine's Day. I mean, does it get any better?
No, it really doesn't.
It's a Valentine's Day dream.
It is a
You
dream.
can say, like, I can eat more than one of these and not feel bad about it.
I know.
And we always say, like, oh, it's sugar-free, but, like, it's still unhealthy. This is actually healthy. There's beans in it.
And you know what? So I'll admit it. They have regular sugar in them, and I'm okay with that because they have other, healthy ingredients in them. And like I said in the beginning, we need to stop picking on one certain ingredient.
Yep.
eliminating all sugar is not the answer. Eating kale every day is not the
Moderation,
answer.
right?
It's about moderation.
And keeping in mind all the things that are really good, healthy choices. Thanks so much, Jen, for
Exactly.
being
You're
here.
welcome.
Great
Thank you.
advice. Now I want to go home and cook. Can you believe it? Great to have you here.
You can have this stuff.
Get all the recipes on our website, mymassappeal.com.